Welcome back. We're talking about...
So you've been with us
anointing
for 5 sacraments, penance if you listen to the podcast.
So that's
now,
6.
Number 6.
No.
Well, yeah. Well,
penance is number 1.
Yes.
The other 5
the other
is
5.
6.
And now
we're
7.
on the 7th. There's only 7.
Yes. There's
anointing
only 7.
of the sick.
Yes. There were more, but after the Council of Trent.
Were more. What was the
Yeah. Because coronation.
Like what were
the coronation of a king was considered a sacrament.
How often did that happen?
All over the place in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, all right. There's 180 countries.
Yes.
So at most,
yes.
it could happen 180
well,
times
I mean, again, it's what it is. It's what it is.
More people die. More people get married. More people get confirmed. More people get baptized.
Exactly.
More people.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly. So, but anointing of the sick,
which is a little bit pretentious of the Catholic Church to recognize kings.
Well, because the king, again, if Jesus is king,
stay out of politics, Catholic Church.
Well, that was a big problem too. Again, with priests and priesthood and wanting to control things and still wanting to control things and thinking they could be moral arbiters. Really a problem.
Free Scotland.
So anyway, anointing of the sick, sometimes known as
last rites.
Extreme unction or extreme unction. If you put it all together, if you slurred it together.
You made that out.
Yes. No. Extreme unction. You know what an unction is?
No.
It's an anointing.
Nobody knows that.
Yes, it's anointing. An extreme meaning last anointing. Unction.
Isn't that the little thing that hangs in the back of your throat?
No, that's a uvula. So, last rites, but it isn't. And it should never have been something that was only done at death.
Let's go back to your time frame.
Yes.
1950s.
Yes. No.
It was essentially last rites.
It was, yes, until the reforms of the Second Vatican Council and the reformed rite of anointing of the sick.
Yes.
Yes.
The name got changed.
Yes. The name got changed too. Right.
The common name.
Because the idea of sickness
unction.
should never be something that separates you not only from the community, but from the love of God. Because again, sickness
separate you
because
from the
again,
love of
sickness
God.
Was often seen again in the Middle Ages and even into the modern era as a punishment for sin, as a punishment for things that you had done.
Demons,
well, again, exactly,
possession.
And it just becomes ridiculous. It becomes
I
ridiculous.
think we should talk about
exorcism.
Exorcism.
Well, we could do that too. I love to talk about exorcism.
We should talk about that in a podcast.
I will perform one.
Mm-hmm. Nothing's coming out. of
you. Lots that comes out of you. A lot comes out of you.
Whatever.
Yes.
Let's talk about anointing the sick.
So anointing of the sick, sometimes known as extreme unction, as last rites, again,
by priests,
is not what today it is. Anointing of the sick, again, showing
they do it at mass.
Well, yes, exactly, because again, showing that it is in sickness, in these trials that we experience of our weakness, that we are made strong. In the same way that Paul's letter to the Corinthians or the Ephesians says that same thing. Are you sure? Are you sure it's Ephesians? Okay. Again, in my weakness,
sure it's not?
I don't know. That's why
Aren't
I said.
You the priest?
Again, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Again, according to you, I'm not at all. But I'm just a freeloader.
I just use examples
I am
like these.
A freeloader. I'm a freeloader who found somebody with a beach house, and believe me, I'm hanging on for dear life. Okay? No, you don't. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about our other friends. Okay.
Go spend time with them.
Well, I can't because God said, "Don't you leave him. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee. You stick with him all the time, Samwise Gamgee." Yes. Anyway.
Why do you bring Lord of the Rings?
Because Lord of the Rings is fantastic. It's much better than that dragon thing.
House of the Dragon.
So the sense in which anointing the sick allows us to really come to terms with our
death.
Well, no, not with our death, but with our finitude. The fact that we, that we are weak.
Okay.
Well, no. The fact that there are things about us that can only go so far, and that we need,
like death.
So death is the extreme thing, but sickness is also, part of that. Any kind of ailment or illness, that those are things that express the fact that we are in many ways imperfect beings, finite beings, and so. But that does not mean that we are far from God, or that does not mean that we can still witness to the power of God in our lives, which is what
not God's angels on earth.
Yes, exactly. Which is what the rite of anointing of the sick constantly reinforces. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. And through you, again, the power of Christ shines because
like marriage.
Well, exactly.
Well, there we go.
But it is a sense in which. It's in the idea of the suffering. Not that we should undergo suffering.
Oh my God! Are you calling marriage a suffering?
No, I'm saying anointing the sick. You stop trying to twist everything I say into making you look good and me look like a buffoon because I am the one who's smart and everybody knows it. Anyway, so with anointing of the sick,
I love you, honey.
you need to you are anointed also. This is with oil of the sick, not with sacred chrism. You're anointed.
So what's the difference between oil of the sick? Because people don't
It's
know.
the purpose. Well, no, it's the purpose for which it is blessed. So again, this is where
Okay, so it's the same thing.
it's
But
olive
it's
oil,
blessed, but it's
blessed in a
for
particular
different
way.
things. Yeah.
The thing with chrism though is that it is scented. So oil of the sick is not scented with balsam and other kinds of spices and whatever. Because the idea that when one is anointed with chrism,
Not with myrrh, though.
no, not with myrrh because that's for the dead people.
Yeah. But is the okay? So there's the oil for
but you don't know. No,
Okay.
you don't get any kind of scent with the oil of the sick. But with chrism is the sense in which you should smell like Christ, and Christ smells pretty damn good. And
How do you know what
when you
Christ smells
well, again, that's the whole point. I don't know, but again, but chrism has a beautiful scent to it, and to wear it is it makes you smell nice, and and Jesus smells damn good.
like
So,
beard oil.
yes, like beard oil, like beard oil. Yes, okay. But with anointing the sick, you are anointed on your head and you're anointed on your hands. And the reason why you get that double anointing like that, and there are words that are said
For both places.
you're anointed in your head again to remind you again that sickness is not a permanent thing. Although there are chronic sicknesses and terminal sicknesses, they are not meant to end in oblivion. And so that's where
nothing's permanent.
Yeah, well, exactly, except for the love of Christ, the love of God. That's always permanent. So you are to remember that. But then in your hands is the great challenge that you are still supposed to do something that proclaims
The work of God.
yes, even in your sickness. And so this is where not that we don't take
Or
sickness.
by your example.
Yes, we don't take sickness lying down. Isn't that great?
Unless you have to.
And so that's what's important, within that. So that's the beauty of this sacrament. Now, in the preconciliar rite, you were anointed in places where your sickness may emanate from. So if you had, a sickness, if you had a pain in your shoulder,
injury,
you'd be anointed there, in your feet, on your legs, in your loins. And that was always the thing. That was one of the things.
I am 100% for women deacons.
Yes.
And now
Yes.
that you've mentioned these stories,
Yes.
I'm 100% for women priests so they can get some grounding.
Yes, exactly. So again, it's a fascinating history. It is not just about death. It is about when we are at our weakest to bring us back.
Right. To bring us back.
To bring us back.
So it's not, oh no, the priest is here.
No. Well, I see, and that's the thing, is that because most people don't understand the role of anointing of the sick and still think of it as last rites. Right. Whenever a priest shows up and someone's sick, it's like, oh, I'm gonna die.
My family is giving up.
Oh, you sons of bitches! Why didn't you tell me I was going to die? No. That's not what it's about. Not what it's about at all. So we hope that this sheds a little bit of light on these wonderful,
or at least a little bit of humor.
Yes, exactly. On these wonderful rites and rituals that are a part of our faith, that are part of our church's tradition. There's much more to learn, and like we always say, questions are welcome. And so,
yes, please reach out to us on our website or our YouTube page, Facebook page.
Yep,
would be a great place to ask questions.
Yep.
We will answer your questions on our podcast.
Yes,
because we'd love to answer what questions you have about faith, about any topic. We're doing an education series right now on our podcast.
Yes,
to ask us about education from K to 12 all the way up through college.
Yep.
We're going to talk about specific things like literacy.
Yeah. Yes.
Especially with the pandemic, the education system has been under assault. Not by people, but by the illness and by the closures and that sort of thing.
Decisions left and right.
Decisions that were made by people, of course.
Yes.
But ask us your questions because we'd love to have a whole podcast just on your questions.
Yes, it'd be really enriching.
Maybe is Father Jim really a priest?
And the thing is, remember, one of the greatest sacraments that really isn't acknowledged, which should be a sacrament, is that of friendship. And that's what you got here. So
How do you blink SOS?
You can't. You can't click SOS. It's because it's here. It's here forever. So keep tuning in. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Bye.
This man's wonderful. So am I.
Yes, he's wonderful.